Because just think about it, like, what if, like, maybe Raila won that position, then we would have been dealing with another bigger issue right now. Because definitely he would have had more physical responsibilities to attend to, and it would still have, like, but the conversation, I think I would like to pose it on, do you think it's important, like, now for even, like, just political parties to have those discussions that you've said now it's difficult for, like, ODM to have, when you start looking at, like, your party representative almost getting to that age? It's like how, like, a father in the house has to talk about inheritance. It's like, my kids,
You just have to definitely do it.
I'm feeling my body and I don't think I'm going to make it to the next 1 year or 2 years, but I have to have this discussion. In case I pass away, this is what needs to go to this. This is the person who should. Do you think it's important for political parties to start having those discussions, especially for now? You're coming from a young generation.
Very young.
Let's not forget, like, a lot of our politicians are actually quite old people. They're actually quite old people. Apart from the president, other politicians have been there for the longest time. And we've seen people like
Kalonzo, 40 years in politics.
Yes.
Jean Wamala, all these people, we have seen them for almost 40 years in Kenyan politics.
Yes.
So, first of all, the death of Raila has been a very sudden turn of events. Let me put it a little bit. I don't
Slightly, So,
number one, if we are talking about Babu should abandon the idea of vying for Nairobi governor. The fact that Raila has actually passed away, Babu should say that he does not want to become the governor of Nairobi. Because if Babu decides to become the governor of Nairobi, then he puts himself in a critical position whereby people can easily finish him politically.
In what way?
First of all, there are so many technicalities when it comes to being a governor, because a governor is a very heavy administrative position. That is why we see so many good leaders who were once MPs, but immediately they become a governor, we do not hear from them.
Yeah, true.
Or immediately they become a governor, certain issues start popping up. The issues of mismanagement of funds in their counties, the issues of corruption, the issues of impeachment by these MCAs. So when you become a governor, you predispose yourself in a position whereby people can easily water down your political stature or your political ability. If you look at Nairobi today, Babu can come as an ambitious leader and say, I want to solve the garbage issues in Nairobi.
Yeah.
But you do not realize that the cartel who controls the garbage in Nairobi is the same person who's donating money to fund the presidential election. He's funding the president.
True.
He's saying, giving the president 600 million Kenya shillings for his campaign. Give me all these tenders to manage the garbage in Nairobi. How are you going as a mere governor going to fight this cartel?
Yeah.
And that is why it has become seemingly impossible to manage Nairobi as it is needed. You can't fight against these people. If you talk about the regulations that we are having even in zoning areas, such as Karen, Runda, how are you going to demolish these buildings that have been done for more than 4 floors when the building is owned by someone who sits at the same table with the president? True. So Nairobi sometimes is impossible to manage. Very impossible. Even simple issues such as Mudhurwa Market, whereby the hawkers and also people who are selling these groceries have all laid their items on the road, seemingly even on sidewalks. The moment you decide to vacate these people, Sakaja did it. What happened? There was a Kikuyu business community that came out criticizing him. So Babu wants to put himself in this position. So what happens? Number one, if he decides to become a governor, people will deliberately try to make it impossible for him to manage Nairobi. And people, after some time, people will say that this is the leader we had so much hope on him, and he has failed to become a governor. He has failed to manage Nairobi, just like Sakaja. Would you be seeing Babu as the same person if that happens? No. Definitely not. You would never even want to trust him as a president again.
Yeah.
Another issue, the issue of impeachment. If Babu does not follow the instructions of these people can decide to impeach him anytime.
For sure.
And the moment you face the issue of impeachment, that is the moment you lose credibility as a leader. Leave alone even after being impeached. The fact that people have started your impeachment
That conversation.
process, that conversation alone takes away the credibility. So imagine Babu being a person who is being impeached by MCS. What happens to his image as a leader that we have seen can deliver for Nairobi? That is why Nairobi governorship should be abandoned by Babu. But people also need to realize that a governor position is not a fundamental position to being a president.
Okay.
Being an MP and a legislature is far more important than being a governor. Because number one, you keep your voice. Number two, the moment you have the support base of your constituency, you will always be re-elected.
True.
It becomes possible, like Babu, he has delivered for his constituency. So people would definitely want to re-elect him again. So it is secured. But that MP gives you the voice in parliament every day to talk about issues. So even if Babu becomes MP next time, he can still talk about Kenyan issues and still decide to become the leader of ODM.
Okay, now, since we're having that discussion, right? There's a huge vacuum there that's been left. Do you think Babu is the suitable candidate to fill that in? Because we do have like a couple of names that, have been elected. No, they're still representatives in ODM, and they might also want to fill those shoes. But also, like, it's kind of tricky because Raila's position can't just be filled by anyone who's even like strong enough to replace such a person who had a voice internationally for over 40 years. So who do you think? There's a space there. There's a gap. And like we've said, there are some conversations that are hard to have, but they are necessary. And even though they did not want to have them when they could see Baba was frail,
they must have them, right?
So now you have to have them. So do you think it's going to be easy? And who do you think potentially could fill that gap?
When you want to fill the gap,
because it has to be
of Raila Odinga,
because this thing of Gen Z saying we are faceless, we don't have a leader, that does not
now
work.
We are speaking like political analysts.
Yes.
A political analyst does not take any stand or position. What he does is just analyzing each and every side. I analyze what's happening with the Gen Z. So I'm a young Gen Z who can also be a political analyst. So I give a neutral view.
Okay.
How are people aligned on tribalism? How are people aligned on the Gen Z uprising? All this. So we are free very much to talk about it, despite the fact that it might seem like that's not the politics that we want as young people.
Yeah.
So for you to replace Baba, number one, there are certain characteristics that you have to take from Baba that you look for in another person.
Yeah.
Number one is goonism. You have to pick a leader who is a goon. And Baba thrived so well.
If it comes to that, he will be there.
That is how Babu rose to politics, especially in campus.
True.
Babu had a very huge group of goons who would just show up at a lecturer's office and tell him, I need my marks. If I don't get my marks by tomorrow, I'm coming to this office with my people.
We'll have a problem.
And he gets his marks. So Babu has that goonism.
Yeah.
And the reason why that goonism was very important, especially in Nyanza politics, is because Luos sometimes are very aggressive people. If you go to political meetings, people are always disagreeing. People are always fighting.
Yeah.
So it becomes very violent. So you must always protect yourself as a politician. So Babu has it. The same, and the reason why you might think that Raila might not have the goonism, but Raila also started through that.
Yeah, but he was already too old to, like, even when people are saying, like, Raila to come and join us in the street. How? Like, come on now, how?
There was a long time when there was a meeting between Ford Kenya. There was a meeting of Ford Kenya, and Raila wanted to become the leader of Ford.
Okay.
So Raila had heard certain rumors that people did not want him to become the leader of Ford.
Okay.
So what happened is one day at Thika municipality, he showed up with goons. So many of them, and they disrupted the entire meeting. together even with his father who was there. And he told Raila, what are you doing, my son? Why are you telling these people to come and disrupt my meeting? Kindly tell them to stop.
Yeah.
But it was that goonism that enabled him to continue on. There was a by-election in Ugunja, whereby Orengo was also vying against Raila. There was a candidate there. The goons stopped it. So you see that aspect of goonism in politics, in Kenyan politics. A certain leader must have it. And if you analyze most of the ODM leaders, who has it? And you know one thing about goonism, you must be able to command people to do something.
Okay.
Babu had the ability to command student leaders to do this.
I have some names here that you can throw away. I can just throw them out and then,
List them.
Because I can see you don't want to mention it.
I don't want to water them down because
okay, now
ODM has already made a proclamation that this is the person we want, this is the person we want.
Gladys Wanga.
Never.
Okay. Edwin Sifuna.
Cannot. A good legislator.
Okay.
But cannot.
Okay. John Mbadi.
Cannot.
Wycliffe Oparanya.
Never.
The lovely Esther Passaris.
Oh my.
No. Inclusivity. We have to do inclusivity.
Yeah. Thank you for the inclusivity. But Esther, oh my God, Esther Passaris. In fact,
she seems to be always there.
Esther Passaris,
in fact,
she's embarrassing herself.
But she's always in the picture.
And that is a tragedy of Kenya
and
politics.
Even 2 terms. She's done 2 terms. She's always been there.
But why has she done it? Because of the favor of Raila Odinga. She has not done it because she has been a good leader or an inspiring woman leader.
Okay.
It was because of the favor of Raila Odinga.
Yeah, because, that's why I'm saying, why I have to bring up her name as much as, you, even just hearing her name, you're just like, Because how do you explain this person who's not probably good at their job, always there? She's done it for 10 years. 10 years is crazy.
Politics is a different game. And I even tell people, even the dumbest of people can actually thrive in politics.
That's true.
Because it is a very different seemingly game.
So, Passaris out.
Passaris, oh my God. I cannot even imagine a world where Passaris becomes a presidential candidate. In fact, if that really happens in Kenya, I would just join Raila where he is.
Okay, now we do have, some party leaders. We have Hassan Joho. Isn't he part of,
Hassan Joho cannot. Of course,
he has aggression and everything.
The agility.
He's still young.
The demeanor of someone who can command a crowd. Hassan Joho has it. But, I'll be very critically honest. The anchor of ODM politics must be a Luo.
Okay.
It has to be that way.
So you guys don't want inclusivity?
Not that we don't, not we. I may not be part, but it has to be that way. Because for one critical aspect why ODM survived was because anytime the party leader can call people to protest, people would follow it. So there was that power that they had against any sitting government. But the reason why who were the majority of these people protesting? It was Luos. And who were they following? They were following their own leader.
So that they can still feel like this is one of us and they have our best interest.
Exactly. So just like Raila, the son of Ramogi, the son of Jaramogi, this is one of us who has been fighting for us. So they would do it blindly. And the only reason why it stretched outward is because it had to be a national party, not just an ODM party. So it had to stretch to coast, it has to stretch to western, it has to stretch to these people. So these people have to be included, such like Hassan Joho, Wycliffe Oparanya from western. But this does not mean that these people can take leadership from a Luo.
The same way we can't expect an Omondi to win something in central Kenya.
Exactly. So if you put Joho as the party leader of ODM, how is Joe going to stand in Kondele and tell people, please come and protest? That is not going to happen.
Yeah, even that meeting, I don't understand how it's going to happen.
Going to talk to the people in Kondele. So that Luo aspect has to be there.
Anyang Nyong'o?
Yes, Anyang Nyong'o can be a leader. But
the problem, but I think age...
Have you seen Anyang Nyong'o on TV? Anyang Nyong'o might leave us soon.
That's why I've mentioned age. I think that would be a factor, and maybe underlying medical issues.
Yes, so many
So unfortunately. So, and you can just notice, like, you know, if somebody, and that's what I'm saying, like, you need to understand your body. And I think also another thing I would say about Raila is, I'm just trying to think, like, you know, if I was to put myself in somebody like his shoes.
Yes.
You know, my last 10 years, I have to be relaxing. I'd be eating grapes, dipping my feet like in the lake somewhere, just relaxing. But he really did work until his last breath.
His last breath. And the most impressive thing about Raila, he has been able to become so relevant in Kenyan politics.
For
you know how hard is it?
Long.
Think of even artists, how it is so hard for you to become even relevant
for so long. You know, it's impossible.
Now think of politics. We have had so many politicians over 50 years who have come, and it has become so hard for them to be relevant.
And not just being relevant, shaking the ground.
Yes, shaking.
Like when it was Uhuru, the ground was shaking. Like when Moi was there, I was having problems.
You stop starting with Uhuru.
Even the last one, Ruto, during, like, he has always been, like, you know, putting people on their toes.
Start with Moi's era.
Yeah.
For the entire 16 years,
Raila
was one of the youngest people who gave Moi the biggest headache.
Pressure.
The biggest pressure. And Moi could not kill Raila.
Yeah.
Because Raila was Jaramogi Odinga's son.
Yeah.
He could not do that fatal mistake. And I hear there was a proclamation that he made. He's not going to make such kind of a mistake. Even though he had the capacity to kill Raila Odinga.
I think also old school people kind of had like some lines that we kind of have to maintain.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, I know your father and my father were battling in this, so we still have to maintain like that car. And I think then, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunately, we're coming to a place where that might end soon.
Yes.
And I think a lot of younger people, I don't know how it's going to be, because it might be like a wild west kidogo, because old school people had those ethics that guide them.
Yes.
Because like your father and my father were rivals, but they respected each other. They conducted business, and even that's why I think it's also, I think for my case, I was looking at things as like, you know, these people that, you know, guys are fighting on the ground, but these people later on over the weekend, they still have to go and have tea.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, we can't burn the ground. We can't burn the whole country down because we have differences.
Yes.
So we still have to find like a way we can have a conversation, still do your thing, and let me represent my people as well.
Yes, those people have personal pacts.
Yes.
That's why even when Jomo Kenyatta died, the first thing Moi did was to take Uhuru Kenyatta. And he said it openly that, you know, this was the son of Mzee Jomo, someone who was a close friend of mine. I will hold his hand in this political space. So that is why he supported even Uhuru Kenyatta for presidency. So you see, there is that pact, personal pact that they had.
Yeah.
So that pact, Moi, despite them not agreeing with Jaramogi, he also had it with the family. So he could not just randomly wake up one day and kill the son of one of the fighters that they had been with together. Despite how this person was against him, the insults, all those things, they can never do that.
And I'm always saying, that's why, again, if we come back to like a previous conversation, I'm always telling people, like, even when you open your mouth online and you talk, you have to understand the consequences of the things that might come your way.
Yes.
Because does your family have those grounds of protecting you? Was your grandfather with this other grandfather in the same class? If not, you can still air your opinion out, but also just be ready for what it might come with. We've seen other people who like express themselves. Their businesses have almost been shut down to the ground. And so many other different things. You just see like, oh, Nani has died, Nini. But, you know, we can't really point fingers, but we're just saying like, that's how crazy politics is.
Yes.
And I think for the power that those people have, they can easily make you go away if they want to.
Definitely.
So most of them, they choose. And I think it's also like, as long as you don't mess or take food from his plate, he might just ignore you for the longest time. Because they're like, let him just play, because it's part of politics.
Yeah.
Because politics can't also just be quiet. can you imagine the headache that Trumps wake up with every Monday morning? Every Monday morning, as we're talking locally, he wakes up with a headache from international people criticizing, insulting him back and forth. So you have to understand, it comes with a job.
It comes heavily with a job.
Yeah. So now, back to my original question. Who do you think might be? Give me two or three names that we can maybe revisit this conversation once you guys decide who takes that position.
First of all,
if you're to predict, who do you think among like just three people who most likely might?
First of all, as a young person,
a
very revolutionary one, and who wants a new system of leadership, I would not want kingpin politics anymore.
Meaning?
I would not want the politics whereby an entire region such as Nyanza is going behind one person, such that whatever this person says is what we listen to, despite the fact that it will not work for us.
Okay.
That if he tells me that this is your governor, elect him. I don't want that kind of politics.
Where you can't even question or see if like this makes sense.
This makes sense, exactly. Yeah. So that is the politics that I do not want, and that is the politics that we want to get rid of.
Yeah.
But, as an analyst, I would say Babu is situated at the best position to inherit the kingship of Raila Odinga in Nyanza.
Okay.
Because of his good characteristics such as, the goonism that I've talked about.
Yeah.
And also a certain sense of compassion that Babu has developed over a few years ago. Not a long time. Babu was also a very ruthless person at a certain point. Yeah. But for a few years, he has decided to display a certain diplomatic image as someone who can be considered for high office. That is why he has been helping people around. He has not been insulting people the way he used to do it in certain
through the way he... But now, will that still come and bite him back, like, or be a chip on his shoulder, like, even like the pending issue he had with like the DJ Evolve, who's still like in a wheelchair. Such things.
In fact, if you are a very rational person, especially such as me, with the utmost honesty, Babu does not have the good character of a leader.
Okay.
Because definitely integrity and high character matters when it comes to leadership.
Integrity and emotional intelligence. So, Goonism is good, but we also need to know that you might not be like that ticking time bomb.
Exactly. And one thing about our generation would always point to your character.
They will.
How do you want to elect an individual who shot someone? So our generation will always question it. And if you go to Twitter...
Especially you're representing Gen Z. So how, like, even for us, there are some things we've said here.
Yes.
And like how people are going to like
and when
break
I hear
them
young
down.
people talking about that thing, unlike other people, I do not even get furious about it. That, stop with Babu. He was a reformed person. No, I understand them quite well.
Yeah.
Because we have made the same mistake before.
True.
Even with our current president. There's so many people who question this character. Like, how do you elect a president who did this in 2007, ICC crimes, and you still want him to deliver?
True.
So it is right, because you might elect this person, and a few years, he disappoints you again.
Yeah.
So why would you talk about reformists? So there is that requirement of a person who's integral and of high character that Gen Zs want.
True.
So if you are involved in anything such as goonism, if you are involved in drugs, such as Babu has been accused of, Gen Zs would not want that thing. Yeah. And I love it. In fact, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It is good because...
You want a representative with, not 100% perfect or pure, but, there are not so many other things I can compare him to, like a thug, a local thug, you see?
Yes.
So you want it to come from like a point of purity, even if it's not 100% pure.
Yes.
But at least...
But there